My beloved child, the life of anyone who desires to mature must inevitably pass through trials. These may come in the form of difficult moments, sudden changes, or even painful losses. And you, my child, are no exception. Today, I come to tell you of a significant trial that is approaching that concerns the familiar relationships surrounding you. This coming July will mark a season in which two people you deeply cherish will leave your life. It will be a great change, one that may bring a deep sense of loss and confusion. I understand that you may feel overwhelmed, broken, and as though you cannot go on. But, my beloved, it is in moments like these that you will come to understand that every change is part of my divine plan. Always remember, the absence of those you love is not a sign of abandonment, but rather a marker of a greater shift in your journey. In this season, you will learn how to stand firm not in loneliness, but in a profound connection with me. Every trial will reveal to you that love, forgiveness, and trust in me are the most essential keys to overcoming the challenges of life. There is no change in your life that is meaningless. Everything is within my will and my grand design. The departure of these two is not a coincidence. It is a part of the process I have long prepared for you. I know their absence will leave a large gap in your heart, which is why I will remain with you to fill that space with my presence, my love, and my peace. In July, you will begin to feel the strength I have placed within you, strength that you never knew you had. Understand that every hardship, every trial you face, carries a sacred purpose. Though loss may make you feel weak, it is the very soil in which you will learn to stand firm in faith, to love more deeply, to forgive more freely, and most of all, to live in complete trust in me. I will be your only source of strength through every storm you face. When confronted with loss, you may feel as though everything is falling apart, but trust that even in the chaos, I am working. I may not show you the outcome immediately, but one day, when you look back, you will realize that it was in those painful moments that you grew stronger, wiser, and more intimate with me. Even when you feel like you can't make it through, I remain the one who enables you to stand. I will never abandon you. When life changes rapidly and heavily, allow your heart to rest in peace, and know that I am working even when you cannot see my hand. Remember, this season of change will not last forever. Trust that I am preparing you for a new chapter in your life, a chapter where you will see that every loss leads to new opportunities and blessings. Trials and losses are lessons to teach you patience, forgiveness, and above all, complete trust in me. Let me be your refuge, your comfort, and your strength in times of hardship. My beloved child, when you are confronted with loss, do not believe that it means you have lost everything. Yes, the departure of those you love will leave an emptiness in your life. But in that emptiness, I will be your fullness. I will never allow you to feel alone in this journey. I will bring into your life new people, new opportunities, and new encouragements, so that you may continue walking on the path I have prepared for you. You will learn how to live alone, but not in lonely instead, in deep communion with me. When you feel like you cannot endure any longer, when trials seem to have no way out, I am calling you to return to me. Seek peace in moments of stillness, in times of prayer, and in your connection with me. Remember that your growth does not come from avoiding difficulty, but from facing it and rising stronger. When you stand firm in faith and trust in me, I will show you that every step you take, even the smallest one, holds great significance. And every trial, though painful, is truly an opportunity for you to expand your heart and discover a deeper peace within your soul. I know that in times of change and loss, there will be moments when it feels like everything you believed in is crumbling. In those moments, you may ask yourself, can love truly endure such trials? Can I still love and forgive in the face of deep pain and betrayal? I understand that these are weighty questions that only become real when you encounter them in the rawness of real life. The love I have for you is not a love that only shines in times of ease or comfort, but a love that is forged in the fires of hardship. Yes, love is not easy, and you will come to understand its true value through sacrifice and patience. When you love someone and they walk away, or when you are hurt by those in whom you placed your trust, that is when love is truly tested. It is in these moments that I want you to understand, true love is not merely a fleeting emotion, but a daily decision you must make. For this reason, love in the midst of pain is the strength that enables you to forgive. It is the power to overcome sorrow and the sting of betrayal. Know this: forgiveness is not about forgetting the wounds others have caused, but about seeing their mistakes through the light of mercy and unconditional love. Forgiveness is the act of a strong soul, of a heart that chooses to view pain not as a burden, but as an opportunity to be cleansed and refined. This is the true freedom you will discover when you release bitterness and anger, and allow only love and peace to remain within you. Forgiveness is not something you can do easily, but I want you to understand that it is in the act of forgiving that you will uncover your hidden strength. Forgiveness is not just a gift to others, it is a gift you give yourself. When you forgive, you will feel a lightness in your soul, and that lightness is the power that enables you to stand firm and continue walking your journey. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is courage and strength. The ability to keep loving even when you've been wounded. Like all of humanity, you will face the inevitable trials of life. There will be moments when you cannot understand the reasons behind your struggles. Even so, you will come to see that these are opportunities to learn patience and gratitude. Every challenge will teach you how to see life from a different perspective, and not only through the lens of hardship, but through the lessons those hardships bring. Every step along this journey, though it may seem tiring, will help you realize that everything in life carries a purpose. My beloved child, I know that you may feel fearful about the challenges that lie ahead, but I want you to understand that worry and fear will only hold you back. Let go of those anxieties, and instead, trust in the abilities I have already placed within you. You may not yet see the results of your efforts, but remember, nothing is ever in vain when you place your trust in me. When you face trials, do not focus on the difficulties, but rather on what you can learn from them. Focus on growing in patience, endurance, and gratitude. Each day, allow me to be the one who guides your steps, and you will see that every trial in your life brings about a positive transformation. You will no longer be afraid of hardship, but instead, you will face it with courage, because you will know that every step you take is filled with my presence. Do not let pain or trials make you feel weak, but live each day with the confidence that I will never let you fail. The challenges you are going through will teach you important lessons about yourself and about me. Sometimes, change is not what you desire, especially when it means watching those you love walk away from your life. I know that in those moments, You may feel as if you are standing at a crossroads, unsure of where to go or whether you have the strength to face what lies ahead. But my child, I want you to know that this is the very time to begin learning how to live independently, to discover the hidden strength within you, and to learn how to stand firm without depending on others. Understand this: living independently does not mean you must do everything on your own, without help. True independence is the ability to trust in yourself and in the strength I have placed within you. To live independently is to walk through life with intention and purpose, knowing that you are fully capable of facing whatever comes your way. It means taking ownership of your choices and your journey, while still remaining connected to me and receiving my help along the way. My precious one, soon, when loss comes upon you, there will be days when you feel as though you cannot go on, when it feels like you are lost in the shadows. But I want you to know that it is precisely in those moments of hardship that you will realize nothing can truly shake your faith or your strength if you trust in me. My child, I always remind you that healing is a process. It is not something that happens by trying to forget the past. It comes from embracing and learning from the trials and difficulties you have walked through. Each step you take in this journey of healing is part of a deeper process of restoration. As you learn to face your pain and loss, you will begin to see that the wounds in your heart can become wells of strength. Pain can be a teacher, showing you how to endure, how to forgive, and how to love unconditionally. And it is in that pain that you will come to understand, even though there are things you cannot change, you always have the power to choose how you respond. When you allow yourself to walk gently and intentionally through this process, you will begin to feel peace returning to your soul. I will help you find that peace not from external circumstances, but from a deep connection with me. You will learn how to no longer be controlled by the past, but instead to look forward with faith in restoration and in the new opportunities ahead. Every day, I will be there, walking with you, helping you realize that healing is not an endless journey. It is a journey of maturing, a journey where you discover hidden strength within you and learn how to become new again. Hard times will eventually pass, and you will look back on them as a part of the journey I have led you through. Restoration is not only about healing the wounds of your heart, but also about rebuilding yourself, becoming a stronger, more resilient, and more grateful version of who you once were. When you reflect on the path you've walked, you will come to see that the challenges you endured were not punishments, but opportunities to rise, to discover the greatness of the plan I have designed for you. You may not feel a deep change right away, but trust that with every step you take in this renewed version of yourself, you are becoming stronger, more grounded than ever before. I want you to know that in every trial, no matter how painful it may be, there is always light at the end of the road. I will be your source of strength, the one who restores you, who helps you find faith again, faith in yourself, and faith in the future. Life will not always be easy. You will encounter trials that you never imagined you'd have to face. These trials may shake you, frighten you, and sometimes even bring you to the edge of despair. In such moments, you may find yourself asking, do I have the strength to overcome this? Can I keep going? When you are faced with things beyond your control, the sense of helplessness can bring fear, fear of the future, fear of making the wrong choices, fear of loss. All of these are emotions you must learn to face. But in moments like these, I want you to remember, Fear does not have the power to defeat you unless you let it take control of your life. Remember that in every trial, I am your protector, and within faith, you will find the strength to overcome every hardship. If you allow fear to rule, you won't be able to see the bigger picture I've already prepared for you. Fear paralyzes. It keeps you from acting, from moving forward. But when you place your trust in me, you'll come to realize that faith is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to stand firm even while fear is present. As you learn to trust my guidance, you will see that even with adversity ahead, you are still capable of walking forward with strength and peace. I do not promise to remove every difficulty from your life, but I do promise to remain with you, to provide the strength and direction you need to endure every trial. Whenever you feel like you can't carry on, remember, I have already prepared you for this. You never have to face anything alone. In moments of weariness and fear, I will be the light that guides you forward. Trust that even when you do not understand everything, I still hold a perfect plan for your life. Each time you face fear, it is an opportunity to prove that your faith is greater than your anxiety. Fear is not something to avoid, it is something to confront and overcome. Faith is not a feeling of confidence in your own abilities. It is the deep assurance that I will provide everything you need to endure and triumph over every trial. My beloved child, in moments of trial, your heart will naturally be drawn to the pain and injustice surrounding you. When everything seems to be falling apart, you may feel lost, overwhelmed by anxiety and confusion. But I want you to know this: it is in precisely these moments that I am near, present, and ready to lead you out of the darkness into a place of light, peace, and hope. Remember, in this life, trials are not the end of the story, but an essential part of the journey you must walk through. Sometimes, I allow challenges, not because I do not love you, but because I want you to grow through them, to learn invaluable lessons that will anchor your soul in me. I do not waste a single hardship, and no tear you shed in secret is ever overlooked in my sight. I know there will be days when you feel like you're being crushed under the weight of life's storms, when the winds of sudden change strike too swiftly, when people you once trusted walk away, and when the foundations you leaned on suddenly crumble. In those moments, you may find yourself standing in the whirlwind, asking, "Why me? Why does everything have to be this hard?" But hear me clearly. Child, it is in these very storms that I am training you not to become hard, but to become steadfast, not to meet the world's standards of strength, but to rise with unshakable truth and unwavering faith, to carry a spiritual authority that does not shout, but transforms atmospheres. You were not born merely to survive the storms of life. You were created to stand firm and to become a pillar of strength for trembling souls around you. The courage I am planting within you is not the absence of fear, but the boldness to move forward despite fear's presence. True strength is not found in shouting triumph on sunny days, but in keeping a peaceful spirit and a tender heart on starless nights. I am refining you to be this kind of person who does not collapse in chaos, who is not swayed by surrounding voices, and who is not wearied by delays in miracles. I see what has shaken you. I hear the sighs you release in the quiet of the night when no one understands you. When no one notices the quiet faithfulness you still choose to live out. But it is precisely these unseen moments, your perseverance without applause, your loyalty without recognition, that I use to weave true spiritual influence within you. For heavenly impact is not built on visibility, but on enduring faith. It does not emerge from loud declarations, but from quiet, consistent steps taken even when no one is cheering you on. Let me open your eyes to see that trials are not dismantling you, they are shaping you. I did not form you to be buried under pain, but to pass through it and become a vessel of healing for others. When you learn to stand amid the storm, not because of your own might, but because you are anchored in me, that is when you begin to carry influence. Others will see the flicker of light within you while they are still lost in the dark. They will not need a sermon, they will see your life, how you do not retaliate when betrayed, how you continue to pray when no answer has yet come, how you still choose to love even when you are not loved in return. Always remember, spiritual authority does not come from titles, roles, or popularity. It flows from obedience in the smallest of things, from forgiving when no one demands it, from stepping back so someone else can be healed, from choosing silence instead of defending yourself because you trust that I am your defender. All these silent acts will create spiritual ripples stronger than any spoken message. You may not recognize their impact immediately, but every action you take under the leading of the Holy Spirit will reach hearts you may never meet in this lifetime. I am giving you something far greater than what you once prayed for. I am not only rescuing you from the storm, but I am transforming you into someone who can stand in the midst of it and pull others out. I am not merely granting you peace. I am making you a place of refuge for weary souls. I am not just healing you. I am sending you forth as a vessel of healing into families, into communities, and even into generations yet to come. To become that, you must let me lead you through the entire journey. Do not interrupt the process I am carrying out. Do not rush when you do not yet see the results. Do not think that your faithfulness is in vain. Do not measure your impact by the standards of the world. I am using the smallest things in your life to bring forth something great in the spirit realm. A whispered prayer in your quiet room can stir the heavens. A decision not to retaliate can break the cycle of generational destruction. A single act of choosing to love someone who seems unlovable can unlock a door of blessing for your entire bloodline. My beloved child, continue to stand firm. Keep obeying. Keep walking, even on days when the winds strike against your face, even on nights when you cannot find your direction. For every step you take is not in vain. Each step is a declaration in the spiritual realm that you are unshakable, not because you are strong, but because you were formed by my own hands, and I do not fail in any of my creations. You are my workmanship. You are my messenger. You are the light I am kindling in the midst of this chaotic age. Do not measure your influence by the applause of men. Instead, look at the shift in the spiritual atmosphere where you stand. Watch how darkness recedes when you pray. Open your eyes to see that you are not as small as you once believed. You carry my presence, and that very presence shakes the foundations of this world. Do not step back. My beloved, stand firm. Keep going, for the storm will not last forever. But the spiritual impact I have placed within you will echo into eternity. There are moments in life when you will feel something deep within, beginning to shift something not only in your surroundings, but in your very soul. You may not be able to name it or grasp it with your mind, but a deep inner knowing will tell you a new season is drawing near. It is not just an external change, but a spiritual transition. A sacred door is being opened amidst the shaking, and you, my beloved one, have been chosen to walk through it. You are not the only one sensing this tremor. Creation itself is groaning. yearning for the revealing of the mature sons and daughters of faith. There are quakes in the earth, disruptions in life systems, and tremors in relationships you once thought would never be shaken. The things you once leaned on are being unsettled. But hear me, child, this is not a collapse, it is a transfer. It is not the end, it is the beginning. False foundations are being shaken by my hand to make way for what is truly from heaven. You have endured many seasons, the season of sowing with hidden sacrifices, the season of waiting with unanswered prayers, the season of enduring with silent tears. But this new season is unlike any before it. This is the season when I reclaim what was stolen, the season when I call you out from the shadows of delay into the light of fulfillment, the season when what you once only heard in your spirit will begin to manifest before your eyes. You are stepping into a moment when promises will no longer be mere comfort, they will become your lived reality. However, in order to step into the new season, you cannot carry everything from the old one. There are burdens you've grown accustomed to bearing, but I am now asking you to lay them down, not because I desire to make things harder for you, but because what lies ahead requires you to be lighter, more awakened, and more sensitive in the spirit. I am refining your vision so that you may see more clearly. I am softening your heart so that you may love as I love. I am strengthening your faith so that you may walk even when you do not see. And most importantly, I am instilling within you an immediate obedience, because in this season, delay will cause you to miss the divine moments I have appointed. Do not cling to what I am removing. There are relationships, roles, and environments that have fulfilled their purpose in the last season. I know you cherish the past, but you cannot enter the future with hands still full of what is outdated. The new season demands surrender, and I never remove anything from your life without having something better to give in its place. You will not suffer loss if you dare to believe that my hand never takes without giving back in multiplied measure. What you leave behind will become the very ground upon which something greater will be built. Let your spirit align with this divine moment. Do not merely listen to the voices of this world, but tune your ear to the movements of heaven. I am granting you a new sensitivity to discern the timing, so that you may walk not by emotion, but by the leading of the Holy Spirit. Every step you take in this season must be soaked in prayer. Every decision must be validated, not by the urgency of circumstances, but by the presence of divine peace. You are no longer a spiritual child tossed by fleeting emotions, but one who has been chosen to take your place in my ranks for such a time as this. Do not dismiss what is stirring within you. The restlessness you feel is not confusion, it is the alarm bell of your spirit, signaling a sacred shift that is drawing near. I am shaking you, so you do not slumber in the comfort zone. I am stirring your inner depths so you do not become complacent in temporary stability. For this new season is not for the passive, it is for those who are willing to step out, willing to obey even before they understand, and willing to trust even when they hold nothing in their hands. I know you may be afraid. I know there are parts of you that still hesitate, that still cannot seem to step out of the familiar. But my beloved, do not let fear keep you bound. If only you knew what awaits on the other side of your obedience, you would not delay another second. The doors I am about to open for you will not only impact your life, they will influence generations after you. Every step you take in this season will lay a foundation for blessings that will outlive you. The new season does not come to overwhelm you. It comes to affirm that you have been prepared every previous season. whether painful, silent, or prolonged, has laid the groundwork for this very moment. My beloved child, as a new season begins to unfold, most of the transformation will not happen around you first, but deep within your spirit. The things I am about to release into your life cannot be received with an old heart. New wine cannot be poured into old wineskins. Heavenly strategies cannot be embraced while your mind is still confined by former patterns. Therefore, before I bring you into the new territory, I must first lead you through an inner renewal, quiet, unassuming, yet essential preparation for the divine turning point ahead. I do not simply want you to enter the new season. I want you to enter it with the right posture. A warrior cannot march into battle with a heart still covered in the dust of unhealed wounds. A spiritual leader cannot guide others if hidden places within remain untouched by light. So, I am examining your heart. I am knocking on every hidden room within your soul, not to condemn, but to heal, not to reopen old pain, but to place my hand upon it and pour in the wholeness that only I can provide. In this season of transition, do not merely prepare your plans, prepare your heart. Do not just arrange your schedule, arrange your inner life. For what is coming will require you to respond, not from old reflexes, but from wisdom formed in my presence. There will be no time to hesitate when I say, go. You will not be able to negotiate with the instructions of the Holy Spirit. I need you to move with spiritual sensitivity. But this sensitivity is not born from haste, comes from a soul already made ready. What I long to do is not simply change your circumstances, but transform the way you engage with them. I am upgrading your spiritual mindset. I am teaching you to view challenges from heaven's perspective, not through the lens of fear or lack. Every situation you've faced, conflict, delay, or the feeling of being stuck has been a training ground to build inner resilience. Every time you chose to remain in peace rather than react in the flesh, you were cultivating the posture of one who carries a sacred assignment, preparing to host a greater measure of my presence. I know there have been days when you felt delayed, as though you were ready, but I had not yet opened the way. But my beloved, I never delay anything when you are truly ready in every aspect. What I have prepared for you is so weighty, so significant, that I cannot allow you to step into it without full maturity. If you enter too soon, what was meant to be a blessing could become a burden. That is why I am reaching into the deep places of your spirit, places no one else sees. But I see clearly, places where unnamed fears still linger, where untested expectations remain, where emotions have yet to be brought into the light. My beloved child, let me lead you through this season of preparation without resistance. You may be waiting for an external confirmation, but I am waiting for an internal response. You may be watching for open doors, but I am watching to see if your heart is ready to walk through them. This is not a time to be careless. Spiritual apathy, a mindset of survival, or the indulgence of fleeting emotions must be put aside. You are entering into a sacred moment, and I need you to be disciplined not only in action, but also in thought and emotion. Learn to wait actively. Waiting on me is never passive, it is purposeful preparation. Like a soldier sharpening his sword before battle, like a bride adorning herself before the wedding day. You too must take time to refine your soul. Listen more attentively to me. Quiet the clamor of competing voices. Renew the first love you had for me. No time spent seeking me is ever wasted. For it is in the moments that feel the most silent that I am planting seeds of eternal influence within you. When I see that you are ready not just outwardly, but in the deepest places of your heart, I will open the way. And when I open a door, no one can shut it. No circumstance, no person, no spiritual force can stop what I have ordained. But you must remember, stepping through the door is not just about your personal breakthrough. It is a summons into a mission greater than yourself. I am not just rescuing you for your comfort, I am preparing you to set many others free. It all begins with a heart that is purified, a mind that is renewed, and a soul that is ready to obey the moment it hears my voice. So allow me to finish the work I have begun in you. Let the inner transformation unfold without being rushed. Do not force yourself to be okay when healing is still in process. Do not flee the place where I am working in you just because it feels uncomfortable. Often, it is in the most uncomfortable places that I shape those who are to be sent. You cannot carry true spiritual influence if you have not allowed me to touch the deepest chambers of your soul. My beloved child, the season of transition is drawing near, but it is the inner preparation that will determine whether you step into it as a conqueror or as someone merely awaiting rescue. I have chosen you not only to be delivered from stagnation, but to become an instrument that opens the way for others. Let me shape you according to your true image in heaven, and you will never be the same again. After I have purified your heart, prepared your mindset, and trained your ears to hear spiritually, now is the time I call you to step forward. This is no longer a season of quiet observation or hidden preparation. It is a time for action, not action driven by emotion or pressured by circumstance, but action birthed from divine commissioning. For once I have given a command. What is needed is not more explanation, but a heart that obeys without delay. In past seasons, I taught you perseverance. In this season, I am teaching you to walk, even when questions still linger in your heart. For obedience does not require full information, it requires trust in the one who has spoken. And I am that one, the one who never sends anyone without going before them. The one who never commands anything without also granting the power to fulfill it. There are things I am asking of you now that will surpass your natural strength. This is not because I want to overwhelm you, but because I want you to know that what unfolds will not be by your strength, but by my grace. When you obey even in the smallest of things, you make space for the miraculous. When you do your part, even something as simple as laying a hand on someone and praying, I will do my part, the part no one else can accomplish. In every act born of obedience, a divine current is released. I am not looking for perfection in you. I am looking for a tender heart-to-heart willing to say yes, even when everything around still says, wait. For it is not full understanding that will carry you into destiny, but faithful response. A timely yes can become the key that opens a door many have knocked on but could not enter. One step of obedience from you can initiate a shift over an entire region. One decision to obey can break invisible chains that have bound people you've never even met. This is the season where I am searching for those who listen and act without hesitation, those who do not need to be constantly encouraged, but who are alive in their connection to the Holy Spirit. Those who do not require the heavens to part to believe I am speaking. They recognize my voice, even in the silence of their room. And you, my beloved, are one of those. That is why I have led you through quiet seasons, why I allowed you to experience solitude, so you would learn to discern my voice among countless others. I am not sending you out as a gambler. I am sending you out as one who carries authority. You do not go in your own name, you go in mine. You do not carry what you have built. You carry what I have poured into you through years of refining. When you speak, heaven will listen. When you lay hands, sickness will tremble. When you pray, the gates of heaven will open, not because of who you are, but because you belong to me, and you have chosen not to walk by emotion, but by obedience. From this moment on, each day will no longer be just another day. Every day will become a spiritual battlefield. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every action that seems ordinary in the natural realm becomes an arrow released into the spiritual realm. The smallest act, though insignificant in the eyes of the world, can send forth invisible yet powerful waves of change. You may not always see the results immediately, but I promise you this: not a single seed sown in obedience will ever be wasted. My beloved, don't wait for another sign. The greatest sign is already within you, the stirring in your spirit, the clear shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you, and the word I have planted in your heart through countless days. Walk forward boldly. Do not hesitate out of fear that you are not enough. I will make you enough. Do not be afraid because you are different from others. I did not call you to be a copy of anyone else. I called you to reflect me. And when you stand in your rightful position within my divine plan, everything around you will begin to align under a new order. Do not be surprised when doors start opening that you never knocked on. Do not panic when those who once opposed you begin to change their posture. And do not be disheartened when some people walk out of your life, because obedience always brings separation. Those who do not resonate with your spiritual frequency will no longer walk with you in this new season. Do not grieve. Do not look back in regret. I am replacing emotional connections with solid spiritual alliances. My beloved child, remember this: your obedience is not only for yourself. Every step you take is for the sake of many souls. There are those who will be saved, healed, and delivered not through a sermon, but through your very life. And the most wondrous part is this: as you walk in my name, you will begin to see the promises I gave you come to pass in supernatural ways. So, my child, do not be afraid. Don't delay any longer. Step forward in my commissioning. Obey even if tears are still in your eyes. Act even if you still have questions. Be faithful even if no applause is heard. For in heaven, every eye is on you. I am watching you, and I say, enough waiting. Now is the time to move. Now is the time to fulfill the mission. Oh now, my beloved one, there are journeys that do not begin when you decide to walk. They were ordained before you were even knit together in your mother's womb. There are callings that do not wait until you feel ready. They come when heaven's timing has reached fullness. And now, you are standing at the threshold of a completely new chapter, where everything I have planted in your heart will no longer remain as seeds, but will begin to blossom. This is the moment I establish your position, not a position granted by the world, not something you had to fight for, but a sacred place I appointed for you from the very beginning. You were not called to wander through life searching for validation or striving to become someone. You were called to return to your true position, where everything I've given you will operate supernaturally. That place is not defined by titles, roles, or social networks. It does not require promotion or defense. It is the place where grace and calling intersect, where silent faithfulness meets extraordinary reward. And do you know what, my beloved? You have been prepared to stand in that place right now. In the past years, you may have felt like a wanderer in the wilderness, moving from season to season without seeing anything clearly. You might have asked yourself, "Why hasn't God used me yet?" Or, "Did I do something wrong?" But I say to you today, you have done nothing wrong. On the contrary, you have been right in the center of the process. There are divine destinies that require time to be shaped in silence. Just as roots must grow deep before a tree can rise above the ground, I have used the very silence and delays you once despised to strengthen the hidden parts of you. And now, the roots are secure. You are ready to emerge from the ground. You are ready to be established. The position I am preparing for you is not merely a place where you will serve me, but a place where you will live in full partnership with the Holy Spirit. This is not a season for doing something for God, but a season of living, walking, acting, and breathing in my flow. Every word you speak will carry spiritual weight. Every simple act will echo in the unseen realm, not because you are trying to make an impression, but because you are standing in complete alignment with your divine destiny. You will no longer need to strive to produce results with your own strength. The results will follow you like footprints left by someone who walks in true authority. My beloved, the position I am establishing for you will also require that you guard your heart more than ever before. You cannot carry bitterness, comparison, or a craving for recognition into this place. What I am placing in your hands is not for the satisfaction of ego, but for the fulfillment of a vital role in my eternal plan. The role you are about to step into is not for those who seek to prove something to the world, but for souls who have died to themselves in order to live fully for me. This is a place where humility is the foundation, obedience is the language, and unconditional love is the means by which all things move forward. You may think that you are not remarkable enough to do something great, but I do not need the remarkable, I need the faithful. I do not seek extraordinary talent, but a tender heart, and you have allowed me to mold your heart through many seasons of storm. Now is the time for me to use that very heart to shake the spiritual atmosphere around you. The things you once thought were small, like a word of comfort, an act of forgiveness, or a silent prayer, will become arrows shot directly at the targets I have ordained. Every obedient step you take will be a declaration in the spirit realm that you have entered the ranks of those who have been set apart. And, my child, prepare to encounter something unfamiliar. As I establish your position, you will begin to sense a shift around you. Some old relationships will naturally fade away. Certain doors will close, not because you have done anything wrong, but because they no longer align with the frequency you are stepping into. Do not be confused. Do not try to reopen what I have already shut. When I elevate you to a new level, purification becomes inevitable. Positioning always comes with separation. Be courageous. What leaves can never compare to what I am about to bring. Remember this, being established in position is not the finish line. It is the starting point of a season marked by spiritual eruption. You are not being given this place so you can rest, but so you can take territory, not to boast, but to act, not to keep for yourself, but to influence others. From that position, you will become an extension of my arm. You will witness prophecies begin to manifest. You will notice souls drawn to you, not because of anything inherently special in you, but because they are being pulled by the Holy Spirit toward the presence I have deposited within you. Do not let humility keep you from receiving this establishment. there is such a thing as true humility, but there is also a form of disguised insecurity, and I am delivering you from both. This is not the time to shrink back out of fear of being perceived as arrogant. This is the time for you to courageously stand in the place I have appointed, not with boasting, but neither with retreat, not relying on your own strength, but also not avoiding the role I have given you. Receive this position with gratitude, with the posture of a warrior, and with a love that has been renewed. I have been preparing you for this moment your entire life. And now, I say to you, step in. This is the time I establish you. This is the moment you stand firm. This is the hour you become the very person I have seen since the beginning. Once you stand in the place I've appointed and say yes with full obedience, what comes next will not arise from your own striving, but from the flow of my grace. The role you carry will no longer be theoretical, it will begin to bear fruit. Not because you preach powerfully or lead great movements, but because you yourself have become a dwelling place for my presence. That alone brings transformation. The results will not come from the strategies you devise, but from the unseen movement of the Holy Spirit, working through every quiet act done with a pure heart. You do not need to announce that you are doing something great. You do not need to follow someone else's model or replicate how another is being used. You were not called to become a copy of someone admired. You were called to fully develop the unique potential I placed within you. And when you live true to that, results will emerge in a supernatural, steady rhythm, like a field blossoming after long, patient seasons of plowing in solitude. I see how you obey even when no one is watching. I see the nights you intercede quietly for others, though you're weary and unnoticed. I see the kind decisions you make when no one compels you to act. You do not need to promote yourself. Your fruit will speak on your behalf. People will come, not because you summoned them, but because a spiritual fragrance is flowing from your very life. It is the fragrance of enduring faith, of unwavering faithfulness, of a soul purified and wholly open to my move. And when you begin to see things you once only dreamed of taking shape before your eyes, remember this: it is not a reward. Buddha multiplied responsibility. What is happening is not for your satisfaction, but for your continued service. Expansion is not for you to reach it, is for you to stretch your arms wider in love. When your prayers begin to bear fruit, when people around you begin to encounter change through your presence, that is the time to grow even more humble, to listen even more attentively, to guard your heart with even greater purity. For the glory is not for you, but to reveal mine through you. You will begin to realize that spiritual operation is no longer something distant or reserved for special gatherings. It will become your daily breath. You will walk into your workplace and sense the atmosphere shift. You will sit beside someone and notice their heart beginning to soften. You will pray silently and then see inexplicable things begin to unfold. This is the sign of one who lives in true companionship with me. You do not need to try to make miracles happen. It is my presence within you that will bring them forth. Be vigilant in this season. When results begin to appear, so do temptations that seek to creep in, unnoticed. Pride will try to whisper, "You made this happen." Comparison will attempt to lure you into a cycle of competition. And doubt will try to plant fear in your heart. What if you fail? But I say to you today, stand firm upon the foundation I have established for you. The fruit does not come from talent, but from connection with me. No one can take away what I have begun in you, unless you yourself choose to withdraw from dependence on me. Let every success become a song of gratitude. Let every open door be an opportunity to give glory to my name. Let those who are drawn to you not stop at you, but be led closer to me. Every chance you have to influence someone is a privilege, not a right. Every soul that is touched is evidence that I am moving not because you are skilled, but because you have allowed yourself to be trained through my process. Do not fix your eyes on the numbers, on the pace, or on the things the world applauds. Keep your gaze on me, and I will continue to expand your territory in ways you could never imagine. My beloved child, when you see that your impact is growing, do not think that this is the peak. It is only the beginning. There are outcomes coming that you have never even asked for. There are lost ones who will be brought home through a simple word from your lips. There are spiritually barren lands that will begin to bloom because my presence goes with you. Do not underestimate the influence of one who chooses faithfulness over fame, humility over striving, and love over judgment. My precious one, you obeyed in silence, and now you will witness visible results. But I want you to remember this: what you are stepping into is not success as the world defines it. It is the fruit of a life sown in intimate communion with me. It is the sign of a soul that has matured, a spirit refined by fire, a person who no longer lives for themselves but lives for the glory of heaven. Continue forward. Do not pause to count the harvest. Let the fruitfulness flow like breath, like the rhythm of a heartbeat, quiet but unceasing. And remember, every time you walk in obedience, a tremor is released in the spirit realm, and miracles continue to be written through a life fully surrendered to me. My child, after all the seasons of transition, after the days of walking by faith, enduring in silence, being shaped in the fire of trials, and obeying when no one saw, now you are approaching a sacred threshold, the final chapter of one journey and the opening of a new, divine beginning. But unlike any ending you've experienced before, this is not a conclusion. This is a seal of my presence upon your life, heavenly declaration that says, this one has overcome. This one has remained steadfast. This one has completed the appointed phase, and for this reason, I will clothe you in a new glory. I have watched every single step you've taken. I have heard every sigh you dared not voice. I saw each moment you chose to forgive while your heart was still hurting. Every time you remained silent, though you had every right to speak. And now I say to you, not a single tear you have shed is wasted. Not one prayer whispered in the dark has been forgotten. Not a single time you chose to stay in obedience is insignificant in my eyes. Because of these things, I grant you a reward that does not come from human hands, cannot be measured by earthly influence, but is etched in the spirit realm, eternal affirmation that only those who have died to themselves can carry. Now, you are entering a season where everything you do flows from the current of grace. No longer are you the former version of yourself, striving to be accepted, to be seen, or to be acknowledged. You no longer need to prove anything. My name is your refuge, and my presence is your new covering. Wherever you go, it is no longer your name that creates impact, but the spiritual climate you carry that begins to shake everything around you. Those who once looked at you with contempt will begin to sense something deeper they cannot define. They will not be able to explain it, but they will be drawn to it not because of human charisma, but because of the fragrance of holiness that radiates from a life in harmony with my presence. In this final chapter, I want you to understand, everything you have walked through was never merely a series of trials. It was a precisely designed process to form a person who can carry glory without being crushed by it. I never release spiritual authority upon a soul that has not been refined. For my glory does not come to elevate anyone but myself. And now, when I look at you, I see a heart that no longer desires anything outside of my will, no longer seeks the spotlight beyond the light from my face, no longer chases personal dreams apart from the destiny I have written. This is the moment I can pour out the fullness of my blessing upon you. My beloved, from this point on, you will not live merely to serve. You will live to abide. You yourself will become a moving sacred space. My house will no longer be just a place you visit and worship, it will be you. You are my living temple. My presence walks with you. And through you, many will experience healing without a sermon. They will be set free simply by being near you. Because you no longer move from mission, but from oneness with me. You no longer do things for God. You now live in me. Over. I know you did not ask for a reward. And yet, the reward will come as the world gives, with medals and accolades, but as I give it, with deeper intimacy, new dimensions of revelation, and a depth of rest that no storm can steal. I will lead you into conversations no one else can hear, into revelations only those who have walked through spiritual death can comprehend. You will begin to live unshaken, unmoved by the instability of others, unafraid of the world's turbulence because you know where you stand. And more importantly, you know to whom you belong. My child, this is the closing chapter of self-doubt, of seasons where you felt forsaken, of waiting stretches that seemed fruitless. But it is also the beginning of a time where you live for no other reason than my presence. My beloved, from now on, your life will no longer revolve around doing what's right or avoiding what's wrong, but around walking in perfect love. No more striving, only trusting. No more panic, only rest. No more desperate searching for direction, only the assurance each morning when you open your eyes, I am here, and I will go before you. I seal this ending with a heavenly guarantee. It is finished. Not because everything has happened, but because you have become the one I destined you to be. My glory is not revealed through what you've achieved, but through who you now are, a person forged by trial, refined by tears, shaped by my word, and shielded by unshakable presence. Rise up. My beloved, take a deep breath. Feel the new atmosphere that is now enveloping you. This is no longer the atmosphere of waiting, it is the atmosphere of fulfillment. This is the moment for you to walk in abundance, no longer driven by hunger or thirst, but by overflow. Live as one who has seen my face. Love as one who has been loved to the very end. Walk forward as one who has completed a chapter and is now writing a new one with me. My child, I long for you to always remember this. This is not the end of the story, it is merely the end of the beginning. Greater things still await you, and I will continue walking with you, now and forevermore. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive the living words. Build unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of God together. Amen.